my goodness, welcome back. Today we're having another yap session. So the person said they fall asleep to these, get in bed, get ready for Mimi's, get a cup of tea if you want to do your chores while I'm just burp, 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 burp in the background. Today we're yapping, and we're yapping about a good one. Today, folks, today we're yapping about being a girl in the TCG space or going to an LGS. And you want to know how it's going to be good? Because I made a little skit, a little jokey joke on the internet a few weeks ago, doing a POV, being a girl at an LGS, and I got comments like these. So, people have opinions. I'm going to give you mine. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, to start, let's just read through some of the comments that I picked out. I selected a little helping, a little smattering of some of the comments that I was like, bruh, you just say you're lonely. Just say you're single, lonely, and sad, man. Get out of my comment section. But anyway, it makes for good, good reading material. Okay, first one. It's for clout to play victim. Notice how not one female is speaking up saying it happens to everyone. Lack of accountability when playing victim. Very insightful. Another one. That's literally everyone and you're making it about you. Welcome to my channel. It is kind of going to be about me. I guess everyone is experiencing some of the stories that I will tell you about. I beg to differ though. Women think so highly of themselves. We should. We're the best. Lol. This never happens. It's all in their head. Going to a card shop is just like going to a gym. No one's looking at you or cares what you do. Everyone's thinking about themselves and their day and what they're going to do tomorrow or after the tournament. And last but not least, has nothing to do with being a woman. It's just nerds nerding. Don't make it sexist when it's just plain readiness. Plain readiness. I think that's what that says. Spelled bad. I think that's what that says. Okay, so let's break it down. I'm going to give you a little background on me. I am a girl who has always liked what I guess would be described as male hobbies. I remember very distinctly when I was probably about 6 or 7. I'm very sorry about. Anyway, I remember I was probably around that age. And my cousins were playing Pokemon. They had gotten a Game Boy and they were playing, Pokemon was hitting the mainstream. And I remember hanging out with them at my grandpa's house and being like, oh my gosh, can I play Pokemon? I want to play that. What is that? And being told it's for boys, you're a girl. And that I couldn't play it. I remember them watching Dragon Ball Z and being interested and being told it's for boys, you're a girl, you can't watch this. Even stuff like I remember, watching MTV with them and there was an Eminem music video on and they were like, well, this is for boys. It was just this idea that anything that I was naturally interested, specifically in the nerd genre, right? Anime, manga, video games, it's for boys, right? And so growing up, I loved Pokemon. I had a huge crush on Yami from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series. Ooh, I wrote fanfic, y'all. I was in, and I collected Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, and I never learned to play as a kid, because there was no one to play with me, because the boys didn't want to play with the girl, and I'm autistic. I didn't really have a lot of friends in the first place. It was a whole pot of stuff, right? So I get older, I'm still into TCGs, or at least trying to be. I'm into the idea of TCGs. I didn't actually learn them till I was already in my mid-20s. But I played Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I played video games like Call of Duty. I enjoyed, what would be considered oh, that's for boys. And I would always be told, did your boyfriend teach you how to play Call of Duty? Did your boyfriend buy you those? Or this assumption that I was somehow doing the hobby or interested in the anime because I wanted male attention, right? The idea of a pick-me. There's no way that I, as a lady, could just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Could just like Inuyasha, could just play Call of Duty, could just play League of Legends, could just you know, it made me feel like when I was a little kid again, and it was like, no, you're a girl and Pokemon's for boys. And it was this like ostracizing experience growing up, and this like otherness, because it was like, I know I'm a girl. Everyone keeps saying I like boy things, but the boys don't play with me. And then like the female friends that I do make that like these, we get viciously made fun of. It's a different generation, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, me growing up liking anime, manga, and that type of stuff, viciously made fun of, unless you were a boy, because then it was normal. But if you're a girl that likes those things, it's like, it's just you're a nerd. And like, so much of my experience getting into TCGs, specifically going to LGSs, you gotta realize I have a lifetime of this. And I think any woman who is into any type of hobby that has been labeled as male, you take it out of the nerd space. If you fix cars, if you play contact sports, if you do anything that society has somehow deemed male, you experienced getting weird reactions and being told that like, well, it's not for you, or you're only doing it because like you want male attention and validation, and like you must not actually be good. Also, you must not be good at it. You must not be good at any of these things because, you know, we don't want the girl on our team because she's not going to be good, right? So all my experience getting into TCGs, I think most women probably have similar experiences. So then I get into TCGs, and lo and behold, it's the same shit but a different day, right? There's this idea of not being good, not actually like knowing how to play the game, that you must only be doing it for male attention. But now add in going to an LGS, and here's where the little skitty skit came in of just me poking fun at what it's like being a girl on LGS, right? Having men who mansplain your cards to you, who are trying to peacock to you, who assume you don't know anything, and then also having men that are like looking at you like a piece of meat and just think that you must be like, you fell from heaven, right? Immediately in love. So we'll get into now, this is part 1, my backstory. Part 2, examples that should horrify you. Let's start with examples that don't include me. So for any of the comments that are like, I think that I'm just out here having like the worst of luck. I should give a disclaimer. It's not all men. There are very amazing, wonderful males who I play card games with, who go to the LGSs I go to. It is not all of them, but it's always men who do the creepy shit. Okay. Anyway, now that we're past that. So I went to a Magic Con about 2 years ago. Super fun, super overwhelming. Cons are a whole thing for me with the TISM and such. Anyway, so got there early one day because wanted to get like an exclusive playmat, waiting in line. I ended up sitting down on the floor, and I noticed that like maybe 5 to 10 people in front of me is 2 guys that go to the LGS that I used to go to. Don't go there anymore for a lot of reasons, also involving treatment of women and just being a not comfy environment for me. So I noticed them, never spoke to them at the LGS, so it wasn't weird that I didn't speak to them while waiting in line. But while I'm waiting there, I see them on people watching, and I look over and I see this gorgeous female who is wearing this like black dress. She has black shorts underneath, and it's like sheer. So it's like a opaque black top and then a flowy sheer. There's like some slits in the side, bottom, and then black shorts underneath. So it's not like, she's has everything out. But even if she did, she can wear what she wants. She looked hot. She looked so good. And I was like, yes, I love it. I love when people like dress how they want to dress and feel confident and feel sexy and look good. And I was just like, oh, good for her. That is like such a cute outfit. Because squirrel brain. I have had the feeling of sometimes having to think about how I dress to go to the LGS. Am I dressing too provocatively? Am I dressing too fancy? Am I dressing too sexy? Am I dressing too whatever? When the reality is I don't know if a man before he goes to the LGS is being like, oh, is my shirt a little too tight? I'm gonna get a little bit too much attention. You know what I mean? Like, where were you want? And that was the thing when I saw her that I was like, man, I did fall, victim to the mentality of I need to be careful what I'm wearing to this Magic Con because I don't want to bring any undue attention upon myself as if it's my fault. That's a whole other topic about being a female in society, is the internalization that it is somehow our faults. We bring it upon ourselves when we don't. So I saw her and I was just like, that's awesome. I turned my head back and and I see one of these men. I can see his phone screen because he's in front of me, right? I can see his phone screen, and he's zooming in and he's taking pictures of her butt. Taking pictures of her and taking pictures specifically of her ass. And if that doesn't horrify you, like if you are in spaces where taking pictures of random women in order to sexually objectify them is normal, is cool, is okay, then bye. Like I can't make you have morals. Like this is not for you because that's horrific. Because that's the existence of being a female in a TCG LGS space, is that there are men who will just take pictures of you. This is not a one-off thing that's happened. I don't even like thinking about it because it makes me wonder how many times if I've ever had pictures taken of me or pictures saved of me or things like at any of these spaces. There's another time that there was a play group locally who, in one of the group chats, a guy sent a picture of a woman who had come into the LGS where he was playing in a tournament, and she was just there to like buy cards. And it was a zoomed in picture again of her ass. And it was a comment pointing out about just how thick she was, how good she looked, and just sexually objectifying. I think she had her kid with her because I think in this group chat I also saw that there was comments about like, oh, she's a mommy, this hot mom. So this is like, I feel like I could just be like, okay, end here. For any of the comments that are saying like, this has nothing to do with women, it's just nerds being nerds, you're making it all about yourself, this doesn't happen. As a male, especially as a father, would you have to be concerned that if you took your kid to go buy sports cards, that there's going to be patrons of that store taking pictures of you to sexually objectify you in their group chat? Taking pictures of you to use for later for who knows what? Like, is that something that you worry about? Do you worry about what you're wearing in case that does happen to you? Right? That's not safe. That's not normal. But it is normalized. It is normalized in a lot of play groups and unfortunately in some LGSs. Story involving me. So there was I poke fun at it even in the video of like, oh, I think I love her. And it's like the girl you've known for 2 days. There's like a whole play group where there was a ton of drama that happened because one of the guys in the play group, after meeting me, was like convinced I was the one. Told his friends about this. Had his friends wingmanning for him with me. Like all of a sudden I had these guys talking to me trying to wingman for their buddy. Calling dibs. Found out about this whole thing that would happen about there was a female in the space and like a guy being like, that one's mine. And it was gross. It caused a lot of issues in my life. I internalized a decent amount of guilt from it because again, I was like, well, what did I do? Was I too nice? Was I dressing in a way like, but the reality is that like, it wasn't my fault. It was someone who became kind of obsessed with me and then made it everybody's problem, including mine. And that's the thing too about being a female in the TCG space, going to LGSs, is that very often, and if you're sitting there and if you're listening to this, you're like, I don't think that has ever happened where I go, then you should probably go and give that LGS owner like a gift card, a hug, and be like, thank you for creating a space. For managing to weed through the weirdos. Because again, not all men, but it's always been men. It's so difficult to just like, as a woman, I want to just go play the hobby. I want to go play Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to go play Pokemon. I want to go play Magic. And the extra stuff that I have to think about, that I would even bargain most women have to think about on some level, walking into a male-dominated space, what am I wearing? How am I acting? Am I being too nice? But if I'm being too mean, I'm going to be a bitch, right? And then you're going to have to run into that issue. And then if they think that I'm being a bitch, am I going to be safe? Because then if all of these men decide that I'm the problem, am I going to be able to still come here to play the hobby if they all decide that they super dislike me because it's, I wasn't the nice girl, the playing into their little fantasy of what it means to be a female who was into these types of hobbies. That reminds me, there was a man at the LGS I no longer go to who was telling me like, well, Raina, you're like a Disney princess to these guys. You play the game and you're pretty. Of course, they're just gonna be in love with you. You're like a Disney princess. We can analyze that all day of like, I'm just there because I like to dress cute when I go places, because I am admittedly a pathological people pleaser and I probably need to work on that. And like, I get it. Like there's comments where it's like, I give it right back. I'm just as mean. I should be meaner. But then there's a safety issue that like all of these things, if you're a male and if you've been playing card games since, let's say you were a teenager, did you have to worry that someone was going to tell you that you're only playing it because you want attention from other men or you want attention from women? Do you have to worry about what you're wearing? Did you have to worry about cultivating this persona that it's literally, I'm just trying to play the game. I'm trying to play the game. I want to go in and play the game. So let's get into that part. I guess this would be like part 3. What it's like to actually sit down as a female and play at an LGS. Okay, so the disclaimer on this one is that there are LGSs that are way more accommodating, kind, and it's all about the community you cultivate. And I think that all stems from the top down. The LGS chain, that I go to now is phenomenal. And I think that's why the LGS that I go to now has locations all across the state, because from the top down, they're not going to tolerate your creepiness, right? They employ females. They have females that go and play at their events, go to their stores. There's still creeps. There's still going to be creeps. Unfortunately, you can't weed them all out, but they're not allowed to be as vocal as some places that I've experienced, where from the top down, if there's a lot of misogyny coming from the top, if there's a lot of like how you treat women is based off of how they look or based off of what you want from them, then yeah, it's going to trickle down through their employees. It's going to trickle down through the communities that they build. And so this isn't to like doom and gloom and be like, oh, as a girl, you're never going to find a safe space. Like there are. I will say though, and all these stories come from one specific LGS I don't go to anymore because I have not experienced this since switching LGSs. So maybe the moral of the story is that if you're experiencing a lot of these weird things, try somewhere else because the grass definitely can be greener and less creepy. So my experience, when I first started playing TCGs, I started with Magic. And I would sit down in Commander pods. And I also totally understand that nerds will be nerds and that you can have some sweaty nerds sitting across from you mansplaining your cards to you. But it feels different when you're a female because what I noticed is very often these men were peacocking. So men will, okay, here's the thing. I feel like most of these men, if not all of them, they're lonely, right? They're attention starved. They think no female will ever want them or love them. And so they will peacock for other male attention, but they do it in a different way. So what I've noticed with these men is when they are mansplaining or like peacocking, it's to try to get a really good player to be like, wow, yeah, you know a lot. I approve of you. Versus when they would do it with females or do it with me, it was this, I know so much, you should look up to me. Do you know your commander's really powerful? Do you know what this card does? Let me see your deck. Let me help you build your deck. Like, it's also this way of like, let me spend time with you. Let me talk to you. And also let me get status. Because if I'm seen talking to the girl and if I become friends with the girl, then maybe, I might get a little status here. And there's this underlying tone of you want something. You either want my attention, you want my validation, you want status from being associated with me because you don't do this to other people. Because I've heard the harsh tone. I've seen the way that these men mansplain and are super annoying and aggravating with other men. It's different when it's with the female because they, in some universe, think that they have a chance, which is so insulting, crazy to assume. That just because I respond, I know, Alphonse is like, it is crazy. Disgusting. My other experience is then the assumption you know nothing, which is very similar to growing up liking these things, you don't, it's like that whole thing, like if you're wearing a band t-shirt and it's like, name 5 songs. Oh, you read manga? Have you read my hamster's girlfriend went to school with my English teacher's toaster. Like the niche, like, you know what I mean? Like there's like these weird, like, oh, you watch anime? Subbed or dubbed? I bet you watch it dubbed. This whole like, oh, you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you even know what your cards do? Or like, even if they're not vocal about it, there's just this like, oh no, you can go first. Let me help you. Or even, especially with Magic staying down in commander pods, where I would obviously be the threat, but then there's this like timidness of like, I don't want to target the girl, or this idea that I don't know what I'm doing. So like, I can't be a threat. You either don't want to target me because I'm the girl, or you don't want to target me because I'm the girl and you think I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm doing. And like, that's just so frustrating too, when you're like trying to engage with a hobby. And I would call it out jokingly, because again, it's very easy to be like, oh, just call it out and don't engage with it and, you know, be mean back. But we gotta think safety too. So much of being a female in modern society is like, let's do things to make sure that I am safe enough to be able to still enjoy the hobby in this space, you know, without making people, specifically a bunch of angry, sweaty men, really mad at me. You know, so I would joke, be like, oh, I'm just a girl, or you're not targeting me because I'm a girl, or oh, be nice to me, I'm a girl. You're really gonna come after me, I'm the girl. Like, you know, trying to point out a joking manner because it was joking manner, because it was just so obvious sometimes about this like assumption that that's the other thing, like with Yu-Gi-Oh, the amount of people who just assume my boyfriend got me into Yu-Gi-Oh, that he like met me and was like, I want you to play Yu-Gi-Oh for my love, duel for my heart. And that I was like, yes, king. Like, I got into Yu-Gi-Oh before I started dating him because I saw Molcharmi Fuvalos. And I said, who is that cute little squid teacup looking guy? And I got told, that's Fuvalos. He is played in like every deck. And I go, oh, I can play him in my deck? And then this person was like, yeah, there's other cute cards. And I go, oh, le gasp, what cute cards? And they said, Pearly. And then I tried to teach myself Yu-Gi-Oh! And got help from whoever would help me. There's still this assumption of like, oh, how did you teach your girlfriend Yu-Gi-Oh? We're like, oh, she must like that deck because of you. She must have those cards because of you. She must play League of Legends because of you. She must blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, your girlfriend watches anime with you? And it's like, dude, he watches anime with me. He watches anime with me. We both, it's so this assumption that there must be some like undercurrent of, you know, doing it for male attention or not knowing, which has been, you know, it's been common my whole life. I think most women can speak to it. If you're into anything that is deemed as male, you know, a male hobby, it happens. So I think the moral of this story is, as much as I wish it was all in my head, as much as women would love to be able to be like, oh, no one's paying attention to me when I walk into an LGS. The unfortunate part is, yeah, it happens. Happens to the point where you might not even notice a guy taking pictures of you. That's how disgusting it can get. Where there are men talking about calling dibs on, as if you have no choice. That was a thing for me where I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean dibs? Don't I get a say of who I would want to date, right? Where you have to be mindful of how friendly. Where you have to deal with a disgusting, sweaty man going, where's my hug? Being like, no, I'm not touching you. That's not. These are just the unfortunate reality of being a woman in TCG spaces, LGSs, but also just in any type of hobby that for some reason, it's like, you know, I think it's gotten better. I think when I was growing up, it was definitely a lot more like cut and dry about like the judgment and the making fun of and the not being accepting. I think TCGs have a little bit to go. I think, like I said, it comes from the top down, and it is important to support LGSs that support women and support a safe space for everybody. And yes, as a man, you can sit down across from another man who's going to mansplain your cards to you. There are some terrible, sweaty, awful human beings that make you not ever want to play the hobby again, or just not go and ever play with them again, or find a different shop to play in, or just, you know, be like, yeah, they exist. Trust, they exist. It's another unfortunate byproduct that exists in any hobby, specifically hobbies that have to involve other people. But the level of other things that as a female has to get experience with being in the space. When I see comments from people who are like, it's all in your head, don't make it sexist, it's just making it about you. Like, I wish was just like, that this does not exist in the world, but it does. And I think turning a blind eye to it, and especially being so like abrasive, like some of the comments, I'm like, dude, this is why you're miserable. What do you mean? Like, these things do happen. And by saying that they doesn't, like, you're not going to alter my reality or other women's reality by being like, that's not real. Like, it is. So anyway, that was my yap session. I'm sure people have opinions, because people had opinions over a little jokey joke, a little skit I made, a little minute and a half, 2 minute, ha ha he he. I had people being like, ladies, am I right? Ha, make me a sandwich. So there, I'm sure if I made you really mad, a therapist, maybe. Therapy. I think everyone should have a therapist. That's my lesson for today. Everyone should get a therapist. And if you're a female and you've experienced similar things, or just in general, like, I did start a Discord, by the way. Part of the reason for starting a Discord was to have fellow people to nerd out with, but also like to make sure that I can cultivate a space that's welcoming and safe, because I know what it's like to try to find those spaces. And I'm very grateful for the people I have in my life, and the, play group that I have, and the friends I have, and the LGS that I found, because it really does make a difference. We just want to enjoy the hobby. And it makes it nice to be able to just enjoy the hobby. And the community I'm trying to build with all of you, and the Discord's really nice. So far, everyone's very normal and nice, and it's a fun place. If you want to join, okay, we got to say bye to the angry man. He says, be nice to my mom. Be nice. Oh, okay. He's got to go patrol. He's going to go patrol. Bless you. It's past his dinner. That's what it is. Is it your dinner? Okay, y'all, I have a hungry man in my house. I gotta go feed. Okay.